Hello friends, and Happy New Year. Welcome to Rhubarb Patch Studio. I'm Leah Noel. Thanks for joining me today. It is a very cold winter day in January when I'm filming this, and I'm in my new office slash craft space. It's a work in progress. I still don't have anything up on the walls. I don't have things where I want them to go yet, but I'm getting there, and I'm hoping that this will be a good filming location for me. Let's see. The last time I filmed a video was in September of 2024. And it was just before my birthday, and we were doing a 40th birthday party slash housewarming party, and it was a huge event. It went really well. It was great. It was really fun to see everybody. And then it seemed like every single month was just so busy, just so jam-packed with stuff to do. And it was good stuff. It was all good stuff, but it was just very stressful and busy. Part of that was actually painting this room. I painted this whole room. It's a lot. There's more room that way. There's more to my room that way, and it was a big job. Anyway, so I have been wanting to come back and just say hi and check in with everybody. I've really been enjoying catching up with everybody's videos. There's a lot of whip parades going on this season. Actually, December is a big whip parade month. And I felt like maybe I could come back and show you what I've accomplished in 2024 as far as my stitching goes. I do have a pile of finishes to show you, so I'll do a 2024 finish parade. And then I also want to give you a 12 starts of Christmas recap. So one of my previous videos, I think the one just before this one, was my 12 starts of Christmas plans. And in that video, I told you all about my idea about doing 12 starts of Christmas, and showed you what my projects were that I had picked out and was in the process of kitting up. And so I thought I would just check in and show you which 12 projects I started and how far I got on those. I'm not going to do a regular update yet. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. It's been so long since I did a regular update that there's just a lot to cover, and it's a lot of mental organization and getting my stuff out. And so we'll check in again soon. I just don't know when or how, but soon, because it's been on my mind and I want to do it, so it'll be soon. So one of the reasons that it's taken me so long to film is because we got a puppy. We got a puppy. He is delightful. His name is Apollo, Apollo Magnus, and he is a St. Bernard Poodle mix. We met one at a garage sale last summer, and we just fell in love with that dog. And I mean, so much so that we just felt like we needed to find a breeder and get a puppy, because we're in a good space right now where we can handle a puppy, and so we did it. I've taken off all of my rings because I am constantly cleaning up messes and taking my hand out of that puppy's mouth and washing my hands constantly. My hands are so dry. I've been trying to remember to put lotion on my hands so that they don't get like sticky, where they get dry and cracked and they catch on fabrics, like that's just the ickiest feeling to me. So I've been trying really hard to keep up on my lotioning, and I don't want lotion all over my rings. So I've taken off all my rings. I did put earrings on just for you today, but normally I don't wear earrings either because puppies are like toddlers. They are just, you know, they're all over the place. They're a lot of just needing your attention. So I have a gate on my office and the puppy is napping right now. So we are filming during nap time. Okay. So I thought I would start with the 2024 finishes. I wrote down all of my starts and all of my finishes. And I include my UFOs. So this year I did go through and I got rid of a handful of projects that I just felt like I was not going to do anymore. Like I just was really feeling like I was never going to touch that again, you know? So I UFO'd those. And so my total for the year was 31 starts and 21 finishes. So finishes / UFOs. So had I not done the 12 starts of Christmas, I would have had more finishes than starts, I think. Does that math? Yes, it does. And that's okay. Like I'm good with it. So okay, so that is what I am looking at. And so I will show you my finishes of 2024 now. Then I will show you my 12 starts of Christmas, what I did. And then I will show you just a handful of projects that I have specific finish goals on for 2025. I think there's like 4 projects that I've selected that I know I have definite goals on those. So, all right, shall we get into it? My first finish of 2024 was Dimensions Gold Petite called Seashell Treasures. And I don't have the kit photo to show you, but you should see it in the screen. And here is my finish. So I made this, I actually made this for my mother-in-law, but my husband and I decided to keep it for ourselves, just because, just for reasons. We just thought we should keep it ourselves, and this is for my husband to have, you know, something that represents his family, not just my family or our immediate little family unit. But it was really fun, and so I just, you know, wrote her name and year of birth there. And I'll frame this somehow, I'm not sure, but she just really loves seashells, and seashells always remind my husband of his mom, so yeah. I'm happy to have this one done. I don't think I washed this yet, so it's probably due for a bath. Okay. Next finish was block 1 of Hawk Run Hollow. Was it really block 1? Yes. Yes, it was block 1, which is this one here with the brick house and the cat. So I finished this block up in January, and I customized that cat to look like my cat Dudley. And let me show you my finish here. So here is block 1 all finished. How are we gonna do that? So you can see I modified the colors. So this whole thing is going to be a little bit customized, personalized to my tastes. You can see it's on a fabric, a bluer fabric. It's called for like a brown, you know, like a brown fabric, but I like blue. Blue is my neutral. And it's a 16 count Haven Ada. It's made by Picture This Plus, but it's discontinued color. I think they had a problem getting the dye. But I have a lot of this 16 count Haven Ada. And I'm using all of the called for DMCs. But in each block, I'm pulling from all of those called for DMCs, I'm pulling colors that I want to use instead of what's charted. So it's gonna be similar, but different. Here I customized this cat to look like a Burman, like my cat Dudley. Sadly, my cat Dudley did pass away this year in August. I don't know if I shared that, but yes, he's no longer with us, but he had a very long life and a very good life, and we are so thankful to have had him in our family. And we don't have any cats. We're not planning to get any more cats anytime soon. So that is block number 1, or it's kind of the brick house is kind of what I'm calling it. Let's see, I've got to keep this close because I finished another block last year. Let's see, 3rd finish. I don't have a cover photo, so I will insert one here. It's called It Rubs the Lotion. I think it's by the Witchy Stitcher. I'll put it in the description box for sure. I always put my projects that I show, I list them down below, and any floss tubers that I mention just in passing, I also list them down below so that you can connect as needed. And then any shops that I mention will also be listed down below. Okay, so this is my first FFO of last year. And so as you can see, I did not do the border on that pattern because I just wanted the words. I literally wanted the reminder to put lotion on because I will forget. I always forget to put lotion on. So I've done a few things in recent times to help me out. Like I have purchased multiple like bottles of lotion and I've placed them in different rooms so that I can get some lotion whenever I feel like my hands are super, super dry. So anyway, this hangs in our bathroom and both my husband and I just really enjoy it. The quote, if you're not familiar with it, the quote is from Silence of the Lambs, which is not a movie for everybody. I think technically it's a horror movie, but I can't watch horror films and I can watch that one. I haven't watched it since becoming a mother, so I don't know if I would feel the same way now, but I remember, I mean, I've seen it multiple times and I really, really liked it. But anyways, that's, you know, whatever. Neither here nor there. I really like my finish. I put this on 32 count farm eggs by X2 Designs, and the floss was Color and Cotton. I think it's Lava Stone. That's one of my favorites. So I just really like the way it turned out. And then this frame, I got this frame at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby? No, I think I got it at Home Goods. That's right. I got it at Home Goods. I really like Home Goods frames. So if you have Home Goods near you, I really like their tabletop frames for my cross stitch finishes. This one was really skinny, or like thin, so like it kind of pokes out in the back, but I just popped it in there and covered it, and it's just for us, and it's just for fun, and it's not meant to last forever, so so I don't have glass on it or anything. It's just the way that it is, but it's really, we really enjoy having it in our in our bathroom. Yeah. Okay. All right, next finish is called the Humility Sampler by Heartstring Samplery, and this is what the I was trying to avoid taking it out of the bag because, okay, here it is. Oh, that still is kind of got a lot of glare. Here is the Humility Sampler by Heartstring Samplery. I did modify the words. The words on the pattern say, "Whilst I am young, oh may I be clothed in meek humility," which is why it's called the meek, or the Humility Sampler. Let's see, I gotta put this back. All right, I modified the words for my own taste, and I also selected my own flosses. This one did not get ironed, unfortunately, but here's my finish. So my version says, "Whilst I am young, oh may I be strong and courageous." So a little bit of a different sentiment, but I really enjoy this one. This one, I stitched this in the beginning of the year, and I was really kind of in a little bit of a dark space, and I think I just sat down and I started this, and I stitched it start to finish. Like, I think I just did that for like 2 weeks, just stitch on this alone. So I remember it being very therapeutic and, you know, just what I needed, so. Let's see. All right, the next one I don't have with me because it's a gift. Actually, the next few I don't have with me because they were gifts. So the first one is called Strawberry House. I believe it was by the Scarlet House. Yeah, the Scarlet House. And I made this as a wedding gift for a good friend of mine who got married this year, and my husband and I were able to travel to Seattle to be at their wedding, and it was a really special occasion and one that we're not soon going to forget. So it was quite the wedding. It was wonderful. So anyways, that was a gift, and very happily received. Yeah. The next one was a gift for my son's teacher, his second grade teacher. This one is called Patience by Little House Needleworks, and I believe I stitched this one 1/1 on 28 count, and I think I finished it as an ornament with some fabric backing, and yeah, it was kind of a last minute gift. Like I wasn't sure if I was gonna have the energy, you know, or the brain power to get a teacher gift done, but then, like, you know, I pulled myself together, and I got it done, and I stitched it up, and I gifted it, and I think it was well received. But yeah, I like to stitch a gift for his teachers every year. And I try to pick like themes and colors and things that the teacher will appreciate. So yeah. Okay, then the next gift that I stitched was called Good Night's Kiss. This pattern is, it's by Uncanny Kari, and I stitched it, I did not stitch it as called for. I used, so this was a gift for, it was a wedding gift, and I used the engagement photos to select my color palette so that my finished stitching would coordinate with their engagement photos. So that one was well received. I was able to gift that this summer, and yeah, that was it was fun to stitch, and it was fun to FFO. I used scrapbook paper for the background, and then I had to use double-sided tape to mount my stitching in the middle. And then I had this really deep frame. It was almost a shadow box frame. It might have been a shadow box frame, I can't remember. But that's how I finished it. And yeah, I think it turned out really well. Okay, so next finish that I have here, let's see if I have. Well, I don't have the cover photo, so I will have to put it up on the screen. But this is called Suffrage Act by Little House Needleworks. And this is my finish. I used most of the called for, I think it was a mix. It was a mix of called for flosses and flosses from my collection. But I used my own fabric, which was smoky. It's a Witchy, no. It's a Zweigart printed fabric, and it is, my words aren't working for me very well. Anyway, I think it's some kind of whisper fabric, but it's not the bright blue one. It's a gray blue. It's a blue gray, I mean. It's a blue gray. Smoky Mountain or something, or smoky, vintage smoky something. Anyway, I like how it turned out. I did start this in 2020, and I finished it this year. I finished it this summer because I was having anxiety about politics, and I thought if I don't finish this before the election, I probably never will finish it. So I just pulled myself together and I got it done, and I'm so glad I did. I think it's so cute. It's just very elegant. Yeah. So there's that one. Next one, okay, next one is exciting to show you. It's one of my favorite finishes of the year. It's Pavane for These Times by Long Dog Samplers. This is the cover photo. I stitched this with my friend Jenny, who is Long Dog Stitcher, but she's not on social media anymore, and she's not really on YouTube either. But she and I decided to start this together, and we stitched it like one page at a time, not the same page at the time, but just like one page by one page. And we kind of went at each other's pace, which was so fun to do. It just kept me motivated the entire time, and it's just one of my most favorite stitch-alongs that I've ever done. So this was fun. Let me show you my finish. So, okay, so this is only 9 pages, which Jenny has done so many long dogs. And if you're familiar with Jenny, you know she loves stitching long dogs. And so she said this was kind of small in comparison to some of the other long dog patterns available. And there's 9 pages, and they were, you know, they were manageable. They were manageable sizes, at least for me. So we would just pick one page and we would stitch it, and then when the other person was done, and when both of us were done, we would move on to another page, and we would just kind of go that way. So we finished it this August, and I think it took us a couple years to get it fully completed, but we did a lot of that stitching this year, I think. 2024, I mean. So let me kind of go in here. I'll take you from the top. So I actually, let me point out, I did not do the border. So this whole border, the solid border with the sawtooth on the inside, is all supposed to be stitched. And Jenny did that because she's amazing. But I did not, because I knew I just would not have the patience, that it would prevent me from finishing. So anyway, I did not do that border, but I did end up doing this top border because I felt like it needed it. I put the year that was finished, and this is my initials symbol. There's LNH in there. So that's my initial symbol. That's what I use on all of my projects. So I used Silks for You, I think PR 132 or something. I can't remember. I've mentioned it lots of times before. I don't have it written down right now. 40 count limited edition fabric by Color and Cotton. It's like a really very, very light teal. It looks almost white in the video, but anyway, this is a lot of fun. I'll read it to you. It says, "Turn your face to the sun and the shadows will fall behind you." And I really wanted to finish this in 2024 because I feel like that just really summed up my intentions for that year. So, and then at the bottom here, I decided to put my husband's initial and my son's initial. So we've got me, my husband, and my son all represented here. And then the pattern did include a full alphabet and numbers and like 3 extra squirrels. So I put one of the squirrels here and just came up with a flower that I saw elsewhere. I just had the squirrel holding a flower here instead of repeating this motif on this side. So there's that one. And then I can't remember if I put one somewhere else. I feel like I was going to, and then I decided not to. So yes, that is correct. That's the only extra element that I included. So anyway, yeah, really happy with this one. So I have to take a break and let my puppy outside. Okay, I am back. All right, so I just finished showing you Pavane for these times. Next finish is a Mill Hill kit called Batty. This is part of their Autumn Harvest collection or series, something of that nature. This is actually a gift from my friend Amy. Amy loves toads. She had an extra one, and she knows I love bats. They're one of my favorite animals, and so she gave it to me at StitchCon. Let's see, okay, so we're losing light. Hopefully this turns out okay, but all right, so I stitched this on a scrap of Petals. I believe it's called Petals by, it's printed. It's a printed fabric. It starts with an F. My brain is just drawing a blank. It's called Petals. It'll come to me. But anyways, I had a scrap piece of 36 count, and I decided to change the colors so that they look more natural. because I like natural looking bats. There needs to be more beautiful bats. Like I've been saying that. Actually, there is a Plum Street bat chart that I purchased that I would really love to start this year, but we'll see. Anyways, I actually used Amy's conversion because she used these colors as well. I had to find my own beads because I'm using a 36 count fabric and the kit uses 14 count paper. So their beads were sometimes too big. So I had to source petite beads in the colors of the bat that I chose. So the green beads are actually kit beads. For some reason, like they're larger, but they fit, maybe because they're like not next to any other stitching. But there's beads all through the, okay, I don't know, can you see? It's like all through the head and the body. You can kind of see if I do it that way. So, and the branch. So anyway, it's just really light. It's a light pink fabric and they sleep during the day. So this is a sleeping bat and I just thought it would be pretty. So there's that. All right, the next finish is a gift. Here's the model photo. It is called First Snowflakes by Filigram. I have not really seen this around. Like I've never seen anyone else stitch it, so I don't know how easy it is to find. I don't remember where I got it. It was a long time ago. But I did get the Called for Floss, which are all dinky dyes. I will say I needed just a hair more white than one skein. So I had to buy a second skein and just for like a tiny little, honestly, I think it was like 4 stitches or something ridiculous. But it's okay because I also used the white for the words. I was originally going to not get a second skein of white and use the lightest color blue to do the words. But then when I was like 4 stitches short of white, I was like, okay, I might as well just buy the skein of white and then use white on the words, which is what is called for. So I did not stitch these words here. I stitched this as a gift for family friends who live in Colorado. And they are mine and my husband's oldest friends. And they created a whole life for themselves in Colorado. And so I just knew when I saw this pattern, I just really wanted to stitch it for them as a way for them to, well, just to honor all of the sacrifices they made to make their life, you know, happen in Colorado. And they're so happy and they raised a couple kids and they've gone through a lot. And so anyways, so I blurred out the names of my friends, and at the bottom I put the address of the home that they built there in Colorado. So they'll always have that memory of being there, building a house, raising their kids in it, and then hopefully move back and be our neighbors in the next like couple of years. That's what we're really aiming for. We're trying to convince them to come back. But anyways, no, this was just just because gift, because I wanted to just do something just out of love for them. And yeah. And so we actually went to visit them in October 2024, and I was able to finish this up and gift it to them, and it was very well received, and yes, very happy to have that done and also happy to gift it. Next up was a birthday start. So I turned 40 in 2024, and it was a big birthday, and I spoke in my last regular Flosstube about my birthday plans, like about the, you know, my birthday starts that I had set aside. This was one of them. And octopuses are my favorite animal. So this is just too cute. Love and Peace by Mama Witch XStitch. Let's see, this was not my birthday start. This was a birthday start, but I didn't start it on my birthday, but I did finish it. And let me show you the finish. So, show you. I stitched it on a 32 count. Oh, what is this? I don't know. I actually don't know. It's like it's not quite black. Might be charcoal. I'm not sure. But I did not use the called for. I used overdyed cottons. One of these overdyed cottons I actually got as a gift from Becky at StitchCon. So Becky, the starkest teal color, that one was from you. Let's see. I selected flosses that looked like the photo because I do like the mock-up. I liked what that looked like, you know, just like black fabric and all of those colors. And so I just pulled overdyed because I wanted a little bit more depth, I guess, to the colors. Depth of movement. And it was super cute. I think if I were to do this again, I would only use one strand of backstitching for these fish because the tails kind of get lost. They look just blocky. And yeah, so if I were to do this again, I would maybe do it a little bit differently with that. But otherwise, I think it turned out super cute. I did personalize it to say happy birthday. So this is my own little happy birthday gift to myself, I guess. Now I just have to finish it. I would like to finish it in a round frame, so I just have to find the perfect size. So I'm still looking, but I think I have a couple options. Next, okay, I don't have, okay. Next is Virtue by Lottie Da. This is the cover photo. This is kind of a surprise finish for me. I found myself stitching this quite a lot last year in 2024. I'm gonna insert my finish here. So I am personalizing, I've already done it, but it's just easier to show you without the personalization. But instead of Virtue, I put my own personalization here. And so this will go in my entryway. So, so yeah, I'm very happy to have that done. And it was just what I needed this last year. All right, next finish, there's two more finishes to show you. Next finish is called Let It Begin With Me by Heartstring Samplery. That's what the model looks like. So I didn't use any of the called for colors. I just pulled flosses from my collection. I pulled a scrap piece of fabric, which I think I got from Amy at StitchCon. She gave me kind of a stack of scraps. So I just took a scrap of what looks like 40 count linen. I'll show you my finish. this is my finish. I think this linen, like it does not look nearly as mottled in person. The camera is pulling out the heavy shadows and highlights, making it much more contrasted than it is in real life. I just pulled flosses from my own collection. Honestly, I'm not in love with this finish. Like, not at all. It's just not, I'm not in love with it. I don't love it. I love the sentiment, and I'm glad that I did it, and I don't know what I'll do with this, but it's just kind of a, okay, that's done kind of a thing. I finished it. This was a birthday start. Not on my birthday, but in my birthday month, I started this, and I finished it relatively quickly. I did satin stitches around the border with a variegated floss. Let's see if it'll focus. If you can see that, I did a satin stitch border instead of crosses. It's charted for just cross stitch border, but I don't do that. I can't do that. So I just wanted an excuse to use this highly variegated floss, which I believe I got as a gift from a stitcher, from a stitching friend. And this is my initial symbol again. And I believe I did that in Smyrna crosses. And everything else is in cross stitch. No. There's Algerian eyelets in the middle of these flowers. So, I don't know. I think this is a pattern that I could definitely see myself doing it again, especially for a gift. But I would do totally different colors, because these, I didn't think about it. Like, this is what happens when I don't really think about what I want to do. Like, I don't envision it first and let it settle and like pull my flosses and compare it with the fabric and stuff. Like, this is what happens when I just select as I go. And it's a good affirmation for me that it's not a waste of time for me to sit and dream of color palettes, and, you know, just to really get into like thinking about it, about what I'm doing. It's not bad, it's just not, it's just not something that I would pick up, you know, if I saw it like out in a thrift store or something. Like, I'd be like, oh, that's nice, you know, but I wouldn't pick it up. That's okay. I think it's healthy to have imperfect things around us, probably. Okay, the last finish that I have to share with you is another block from Autumn of Hawkran Hollow. Autumn at Hawkran Hollow. I am stitching these blocks out of order, and I am only stitching 8 of the 12. Plus I am stitching the top. So this pig block is the block that I finished. It's technically block number 5. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to look like. Mine looks different, and you'll see. Okay, so here's my finished pig block. This little piggy is so mischievous. Mischievous words. I made so many mistakes in this block. It looks like such a straightforward block, and that's why I stitched it next, because I thought I could do it. Like, it was just, I mean, who can screw up a few baskets and some apples that are all the same, and this pig and all these words? Like, who can screw that up? Like, I can, in a lot of different ways. the most obvious screw up here is my pig is out of frame. Like, I counted his ear from the wrong spot on the ampersand. And I didn't notice it until I was like 200 stitches in to the pig or whatever. And so I just decided, like, it was just gonna poke out a little bit. And I finished bringing this border down just to see, like, is it gonna work? And I decided it was gonna work. It's just annoying to me. And it's not annoying because of the block. Like, I think it's cute this way. What's annoying to me is that now when I frame it, it's gonna have to be, it's not gonna be able to be tight. It's gonna have to come out at least this much instead of being a really tight frame. So that's what's kind of annoying to me, but you know what? It's fine. Again, embracing the imperfectness. It's a daily practice. Yes. So, okay, what did I do differently in this block? I didn't change any of the words or anything. I did change the background color of the words. I changed the pig color because I wanted it to be like a rosy pig. And actually I was going to fill it in with this darker rosy color. You see, I have a darker color here on the back legs, and I thought that was a little too dark for my pig. And I liked it as a shadow for the back legs, you know, the ones that are on the other side of the body. So it gives it a little bit more depth. And then I tried a different color for this pig, and it was too mustardy yellow. It was like more of an ochre, kind of a light ochre, and it just wasn't right. And so I did end up having to take out those stitches, and it was kind of a lot, but it was worth it. I mentioned before that I'm using all of the called for DMC, and there was not a light rosy color for this pig. So what I did is I took this dark pink and I took the cream. It's either the cream from this basket, like the white, the creamy white from that basket, or possibly from the cat. And I took one strand of each, and so I stitched this pig with a blend of one strand of each, and it gives it a nice light pink. So that's what I ended up doing, and I really like the effect. I miscounted on the baskets. They're not supposed to be as high or as low as they are, and whatever, just whatever. Nobody's gonna know except me, and now you. And since the pig was so far this way, I had to add another apple to make it look more natural, like, so there wasn't just this gaping hole between the pig and the apples. So I did that. I made this brighter red. Yeah, I changed all the, I just changed most of the colors on that block. So anyways, it's done. Little piggy went to market. It's done. Okay. Hopefully my lighting is all right. It started snowing, and so the sun went away. But those are all the finishes that I want to share with you. I'm not going to share my UFOs because they've been absorbed. Like, all of the materials have been absorbed into my storage. So now I want to go over my 12 starts of Christmas. So I'm not going to really explain like what that means because I have a whole video about it. You can go back to the one before this to see all of that. I'll just show you what I actually started and how far I got. So I just put all of my projects in this single tote, and I pulled them out as I decided to start them. Let's see. First one I started. Also, disclaimer, I'm missing one. I'm hoping that it just appears as I go through the rest, but I have searched high and low. It's not in my normal spots. It's not in my abnormal spots. Which means it's in a new spot, probably, or it's in a spot that I've already looked 5 times, and it's because I'm looking for it that I can't find it. And when I stop looking for it, I'll find it. That's how things seem to go around here. So that's my disclaimer. I only have 11 to show unless that one magically appears. Okay, so 12 Starts of Christmas. I was not sure when I was gonna have time to start any of these, so they're on random days. They were just started in whatever order I felt like it and whatever days I wanted to, but I kept it to December, so that worked for me. That worked really well for me, and I did it. So my first start was on December 4th. I started Christmas Visit by, I always want to say Lavender and Lace. This is actually Butternut Road. This is a Butternut Road design. I started this on December 4th because Sarah, Stitchin' Mommy, has this pattern and she wanted to start it with me. And so we started it together, which was so much fun. We're doing different things. She's subbing some of the colors, and I am not, but the fabrics that we chose are totally different. So let's see. This is a 32 count Misty Mountain by Grace Notes Fabrics, and it's one of my new favorite fabrics. I love this so much. I actually ordered 2 more pieces of this because it was a December fabric of the month color, and so I ordered 2 pieces of this for other projects, for future projects. Anyway, this is my start on Christmas Visit. I started at the top. I'm not giving myself much margin, but I really wanted to start where the fabric wanted me to start. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted, placement for me is a big deal. So I just had to start at the top. That's all there is to say about it. So I got some of the doorway stitching done and made it to her hair and her little hat thing. So you can see she's got like a hat and some flowers or something in there. I don't know. Anyway, there's back stitching to do around the doorway, and Sarah has completed hers already, so you know, go and watch Sarah's. When did she show this? It was like in the last 2 or 3, and I think she's pulled it for one of her challenge things. So you might see more on her channel. Anyway, that was fun start, and I really like it. I love these. I just really love these fancy ladies, mostly the lavender and lace ones. I like Nora Corbett and Mirabilia too, but I just haven't fallen as much in love with them as the lavender and lace ones. Okay, how am I gonna... All right, I have to put these away or else they're not gonna get put away. So we're just gonna have to do that. The next start is the one that I cannot find, and I will just take a little look here. Yeah, like I can't find it. I don't know where it went. So I don't know. You'll see it eventually, but it's called Winter by Rosewood Manor, and I don't know if I have a progress photo or not, but I will put one up here if I do. I don't know. All right, next I started New England Winter. This is by the Bay Needlearts, and I got the least amount done on this one. I wish I had had more time to work on this one. This is what it looks like. I bought the PDF from their Etsy page, and I don't know if I would have done that again. I think if I were to buy this again, I would just buy the printed version because it's probably better quality. The PDF it seems like just a scan of the print. Like a good quality scan, but still, I wasn't able to use it in Pattern Keeper, which is what I really wanted to do. So I would just recommend getting the regular old printed version if you're gonna go out and get this. But it's so cute. I love this scene so much. Love landscapes. I love snowy things. I've been meaning to stitch this for the longest time, and I have a piece of 40 count Sea Storm by Lakeside Linens. And oh, here it is. I just got the teeniest tiniest start on the bottom left corner. So that's my start. It's so small. And some of these colors are definitely going to blend into the fabric, but it's okay because if you look at the cover photo, like those colors blend into this fabric too. So this is not the called for fabric. It's a little bit bluer than what's called for. I forget what's called for. Country Blue Linen. 28 count Country Blue Linen by Witchy. And this is 40 count, you know, 1/2. So I don't know. I find myself wondering if I should use a silk for this white, but I think I'm not going to do it because I don't have one. I don't have a pure white silk that I want to use. So I'm just gonna, this would be beautiful in silks though. Like, it's tempting. It is so tempting, but I'm just not going to do it because it started, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to get it started. Next start was the Cold Snowman by Bent Creek. I got a cramp in my foot. Cold Snowman by Bent Creek. So cute. I started this with Diana. I started Winter with Diana too. I forgot. Just a longtime viewer of my channel and a fellow stitcher who I was happy to meet at StitchCon a few years ago. So this was fun to have a couple projects to start with another friend. And she had this one. She had this one in her collection, and so we started it together on the 9th. I got a decent amount finished on this one. This fabric is Twilight, 28 count Twilight linen by Picture This Plus. And I'm using floss for my collection. So that's how much I got on this one. So most of the snowman is done. I just have to do the swirly stuff, and the rest of it's hat. And he'll be good to go. I've had this linen in my collection for quite a while, so I don't normally do 28 count, but you know what? I like it for this. And actually, it's so dark. Like, it's actually nice that it's 28 count because it's a little easier to find the holes. So, he's just so cute. Oh, he's so cute. yeah, I have to get back to this one and finish him up. So I've been making a list of projects that are like super close to being done, so that when if I find myself just feeling like I need an easy win, or like I'm in the mood to finish something, I can look at my list and see what's close to being done and finish it. So the next one I'm looking for is a big one. It's called Winter Cat Sampler by Kooler Designs. And I have the PDF of this. I have the PDF of this, and it does work in Pattern Keeper. Just the backstitch doesn't work, so you have to reference the PDF for your backstitch placement and stuff. But all of the cross stitching works in Pattern Keeper, which is so great. So this is the cover photo. So pretty. I've been wanting to start this forever. I have all 4 seasons of the cats, and I have the spring one started already, so I've been meaning to start this one for a long time. I started in the middle of this one because I cut my fabric to size. See, I cut my fabric to size, so I started in the middle and got to work on those amaryllises. How do you, there's multiple of this amaryllis. I don't know how to say the plural. Gosh. So anyway, it's looking really good. This is on Aida. I'm gonna do all the cat samplers on Aida fabric, but this is a color and cotton Aida, 16 count. It's Over the Moon. It's called Over the Moon. It's a very light blue-gray, which is gonna be perfect for this design. I just love the way it makes the reds and pinks look, and the greens and the browns and the everything. I just love it. I've worked a lot on this one so far, you can see. There's a lot of color changes in Kooler Designs charts. So yeah, I have to be in the mood to stitch on this one, but when I am in the mood, like, I can sit there and stitch for a long time. All right, next was Jenny Bean's Christmas Sampler, which again, I've been wanting to start for ages and ages. And so this is just so fun for me to start all of these, because I've been thinking about them for years and I just had no reason really to start them. So, oh, I've got a mess of dangling threads here. Hang on a second. All right, I don't have a needle minder for this one, so it's kind of annoying. That's what I discovered, like, once I started all of these projects, I realized I don't have needle minders, like enough needle minders for all of these. So I had to like share needle minders and needles with all my projects, which I don't enjoy doing, but I did. And I also didn't have enough project bags for 12 new starts, so yeah, most of these are just in like plastic bags that I get from shipping. You know, like anytime I buy a new chart, it comes in a plastic bag. Like, I save all those plastic bags and then I use them for project bags when I don't have a fabric one to use. So anyways, did I show you the, nope. All right, Jenny Bean's Christmas Sampler. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. It says, "And had I but 1 penny, thou shouldst have it to buy gingerbread." So cute. Just this little red house in the woods and the holly, and then there's an alphabet. This says wrought gladly by Jenny Bean, so I won't be stitching that. I don't know if I will replace it with anything, but just the sweetest. This is Shakespeare's Peddler. And I'm going with a really bold fabric choice called Highland by Pictureless Plus. It's a 36 count. So it's very yellow, like very yellow with splashes of green. And because of where the colors are, I had to start really, really close to the top. Like I still have one more border to stitch between here and here, so I'm not doing the very, there's 3 borders on this thing. Actually, there's more than 3, but there's one all the way around right next to the frame. Like if you can see, there's this dark red one right next to the frame. Then there's a rosy red one that goes down to here. Okay. Then there's the border around the text, and there's a semi border around there, and these borders obviously, and this holly border. Like it's a lot of borders, but you know what? It's okay. Sometimes I can do borders. This is one of the times because the overall effect is totally worth it. You'll see what I'm doing here. I just have to do part of one border at a time. I can't do the whole border. So I actually did start the light rosy red border, and I had to pick it out because I started in the wrong spot. But the border around the words is actually not too bad because it's broken up in random spots. So you have to count, like, but what I do is I stitch the words and then I don't have to count the straight line. I just have to reference where I am according to the words. So that's how I get out of stitching straight lines. I'm just really excited to see this come together on this fabric. I think this fabric is going to make my reds really come through. And to me, it looks like the woods on a sunny day. That's kind of the vibe that I get, so. I love this one. I got a bag from Jordan, Tattooed Stitcher, especially for this project because gingerbread. So, it's so cute. It's inside. Jordan sells her bags on Instagram. So if you watch her videos, she usually tells you when she's gonna have a sale of her bags. Next one I started was Delivering Peppermints and Candy Canes by Homespun Elegance. That's right, Homespun Elegance. Okay. This is what it looks like. It's so cute. It's a little owl with peppermints. I don't know what it is about peppermints, but I just have a thing for peppermints. They're so cute. Can't stand it. So cute. Look at that. And these peppermints are actually white buttons with red thread. So I still have to source some white buttons. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do about that, but you do have the option to stitch the white. So we'll see. Like I'm definitely going to stitch the white, and then if I can find buttons, I'll put the buttons over the white stitching. So I am stitching this on 36 count Petite 4 linen. It's a Wabi Sabi linen by Kitten Stitcher, which means I don't think you're gonna get it. I don't think it's gonna be available ever again. Her Wabi Sabi fabrics are like really great. It's just like they're not predictable, and so she only sells, they're basically like all one-offs. But this is a really pretty, I'm trying to get it ready here to show you. It's like a really pretty gray. My Scarlet house finish was on this fabric. You can see I cut it out. This is just on the little strip that I had above it. But I like how the reds look on this fabric. And I knew that from doing that project. I liked how the whites and the reds looked and the greens looked on this fabric, so I opted to use it. But I got pretty far on this one. I think it's just gonna need a few more sessions, like to just really sit down and hammer it out. And I think this is gonna be really easily finished as well. I am using all of my own selection of flosses for this one. This has a full conversion for me. But I love how it looks. It's so cute. So cute. Next one I started is called Santa's Trips. Let me get a drink here. Santa's Trips by Barbara Anna. It's another one. I mean, the whole reason I did this is because I've been wanting to start these for the longest time. So Santa's Trips by Barbara Anna Designs. It was a stitch along at some point, and I bought it after that. I'm stitching this on tarnished silver. Is it vintage or not? Vintage tarnished silver by Lakeside Linens, which is possibly my favorite fabric. I actually prefer tarnished silver instead of vintage tarnished silver because the tarnished silver is a little bit rosier and the vintage tarnished silver is less rosy. It's more gray, but it's still like a nice purple. It's like a purpley gray. Oh, it's so perfect for white stitches. And I love how red and green look, and blue and yellow. Like, all the colors look perfect on this fabric. I love it. So that's my start. I almost always start in the bottom left of patterns because of the way I cross my X's. It makes the most sense for me. So I just started with all that snow, some of the border. I'm gonna have to eat away at this border a little bit at a time. And it wasn't so bad. Like, this was not so bad to stitch. So I'm just gonna have to go a little bit at a time and it'll be okay. I made a conversion to mostly overdyed cottons, like mostly colored cottons, flosses. It calls for all DMC, but I just wanted to add more depth. So I have a lot of, I used to be in the Color and Cotton Thread Club, so I have a lot of their floss to use. So that's what I did. That was fun. Love to have that started now. Next, oh, that was it. Christmas Penguin by Dimensions. This is this used to be available, and I think it's not available anymore because I had a hard time looking for it for somebody. So I'm not sure. You might be able to find it on eBay, or you might be able to find a store that has it still in stock, but I got this from 123 Stitch a few years ago. And yeah, it's just a regular Dimensions kit. It's not a gold, and it's not a gold petite. So it's really easy to stitch. It's not crazy. It does not have crazy amounts of floss, like use 5 strands, you know, blends. It doesn't have that stuff. It's just very easy, very straightforward. There are a lot of different colors of backstitch, and there are symbols that want you to use 3 strands for a half stitch. That's as crazy as it gets. Almost everything is just 2 strands regular cross stitch. I am using all the kit floss, but I substituted the fabric for a 28 count Mercedes linen by Picture This Plus. It's one of my favorite linens to use for like winter. It just feels snowy to me. was getting the string out of the way here. So I got a ton done on this one. This one is almost done. This one's almost finished. It's just very easy to work on. And this Mercedes fabric, yeah, it's so easy to work on. I really like it. I haven't done any of the white snow. And I don't know how much of it I'm going to do, but like this whole, all of this is supposed to be stitched with white. It's all half stitches with 3 strands. And I just haven't decided what I want to do about that. If I want to do that or regular, maybe regular cross stitches, or not do it at all. I don't know. I think I will do it. I think I have to, but I just don't think I'm gonna do that huge block. I might do maybe 3 rows, like maybe 3 rows just to have a little anchor. But really liking how this is looking so far. I've done a little bit of the back stitching in the hat, but not all of it. Actually, there's a ton more to do. So yeah, it's gonna be super cute. I love this new needle. So when I discovered that I did not have enough needle minders for all of my projects, I decided to get a few new ones. This is one of my favorite ones that I got. It's a regular like pin, and I got it from a new Etsy seller, new to me Etsy seller. I'll link them below. I can't remember what their name is, but I'll link their shop below because I really liked their needle minders. I think I got three from them. 2 were Christmas and 1 was just not Christmas. So anyways. Next. Oh, I love this one. I love all of them, but you know, it's good when you love your projects. This is called Skylights by Meredith Mark Designs. This is a very old, looking for a date here, 1986. So this is the model. The model looks like. I decided to use my own colors, my own floss colors. So I am using a conversion. I'm stitching on 36. This is 36 count Lakeside Linens Morning Dove. It's gonna look almost white, but it does have a little bit of a blue tint. So that's as far as I got, which is just the bottom border. Part of why I haven't started this before now, like I've had this for years. And part of why I haven't started it before now is because like all that blue is stitched. None of the white, it's like all this white part is not stitched, but all this blue is stitched and the white parts are just blank spots in the fabric. So it just feels intimidating. Like I wasn't really sure if I was gonna be up for it, but so far, honestly, it really has not been that bad because there's a lot of counting involved. And that's what keeps me interested. So yeah, I really like this floss. It's a floss, it's Planetarium by Roxy Flossco. And I hope I have enough because if I don't, I'm gonna have to order more. And I haven't checked to see if that's like a regular floss color that they carry. I don't want to deal with like dye lots or whatever, so I'm just hoping for the best. But it's a pretty good start. It needs more work. Then I had 2 more starts. Winter Salt Box. I wasn't sure if I was going to start this one. I kitted it up at the last second. This is by Plum Street Samplers, and I'm doing this one here. And I pulled my own flosses, so I'm gonna do my own flosses. And I haven't decided if I'm gonna do all this white here, or even the outside white border. I might not do that. I might just stitch a few rows on the bottom but I might stitch this whole white thing because I don't know, might need it. I'll know when I get there. I actually did not start on the bottom like I normally do on my projects. I started at the top left, because it was going to be more interesting, and also I wasn't sure how much of the bottom I'm going to stitch, so I just decided to start at the top. So this is a 32, I believe it's 32 count. I'm looking for the tag. No. Okay, this is a 28 count Lugana. It's Crystal Alchemy by Picture This Plus. I've had this fabric in my collection for as long as I've been doing Flosstube. I don't often stitch with sparkles, and I've learned that I do not really care for stitching on Lugana. So yeah, but this project seemed like a really good opportunity to use this fabric that I already own, because it just looks very, you know, it looks kind of magical. Like, I think it's gonna look really good with the sparkles. So yeah, I selected my own floss for this one, and I think it should be a pretty easy stitch up. I just didn't have a lot of time to stitch this one, so definitely could use more work, but glad to have that started. At the last minute, like this was at the end of December, on the 29th is when I started this one, and then I knew I wanted to start my last one the same day, because things, you know. Hey, look what I found. Look what I found. I knew it would show up. Gosh, didn't I say it was gonna show up? Oh my gosh. So embarrassing. Okay, I found the missing project, so I'll show you that one now. Okay, so this one I started back on the 5th. It's called Winter by Rosewood Manor. This actually comes with the floss. You can't get the pattern without the floss. At least when I bought it, that was the case. I bought it from 123 Stitch. But Rosewood Manor did all 4 seasons, and all 4 seasons came with a bundle of flosses. And the flosses are, what are they called? House of Embroidery Threads, which I've never stitched with before. And I'm using the called for flosses that came with the chart, and I'm liking them so far. One of them is either mislabeled or substituted, but it looks just like the picture, so I don't care. So there is my start. I'm using 16 count Over the Moon Ada by Color and Cotton, which is the same as my Winter Cat sampler. So I got a really good start on this. But look, like, okay, so this is what I was almost gonna get into. Like, see, there's like one here, one here, one here, one here, like all these little specks of color here and there, and like these like have one different color in the middle, one different color in the middle, and so like there's just a lot of that, and I don't care for that kind of stitching. It just doesn't work for my brain to have one stitch not connected to anything else around it. So I'm working through it, and it's small enough that I'm just carrying, like I'm just traveling. You can see, I'll show you my back. Look, because I don't have time for that kind of nonsensical like stitching. I'm not going to tie it off and then start a new thread somewhere else. Like I'm just gonna travel, and it's okay. This is just for me, and like I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, but it annoys me a little bit. I'm sure you can tell, but it's okay because it's beautiful. the outcome is beautiful, and I'm willing to do it for the outcome. So, all right, well, that answers that. I shoved it in with this other project because I probably felt like this bag could hold multiple projects, which it can. Yeah, this is the only other proper project bag that I have. I'll show you. It is a Quilting with Nico bag, and this is her medium size. So I usually get her large size bags, but I think when I bought this one, she only had the medium. So yeah, I really like it. Her bags always come with a handle, which I totally love. And she puts a label so you remember who makes the bag. And the inside are just like little ornaments. Look how cute. So yeah, I love this one. And then I just put my own charm here on the zipper. I think I got this from Kitten Stitcher. Kitten Stitcher's website, like, you should definitely keep an eye on her stuff, because she's always rotating the stuff that she's got on sale, and she's always rotating the stuff. Like, I mean, seriously guys, she's got some great sales on her site. I think this was on a card with another fob, and I think it was in her $5 sale when she moved. She's still got $5 sale stuff. I don't think I've seen any zipper pulls recently, but it's definitely worth checking out. Okay, wow. All right, last thing I started. This will be a surprise to anybody who watched my 12 Starts of Christmas plans video, because this was not on there. This was not in my plans. This is Bird's Eye Christmas by Hindsight. I say Hindsight, could be Hinsight, could be something else. Anyway, I have had this ready to go for a long time. I've done 2 other birds in this Bird's Eye series. They're so funny. Like, look, they've got this huge eye. They're so funny. So I do them all on the same fabric, which is a 28 count dapple by Pictureless Plus. And yeah, I was ready to go on this one, and I wasn't ready to go on the other ones that I had. So I just decided to start this, and it was great. It's a really good start. This is Puppy Nonsense. This is Puppy. I don't know what it is. But yeah, he got a hold of my, he did not get hold of my stitching. He got hold of my my favorite hoop, and he chewed on it, and I thought it was still okay. I thought it was still usable, but apparently he had some kind of gunk on it, and that gunk got on my fabric. So I'm hoping, like, it's just gonna be in the margins, so it'll be okay. I'm glad it wasn't on my stitching. That would have been a bummer. But anyway, that one's looking good. Yeah, these bird's eye patterns, like, they come together really easily. And so far, like with the other 2, I have personalized it by substituting one of these words for our name, for our last name. So I'll be doing that with this one as well. I just haven't decided exactly where it's gonna go. Probably on the top. We'll see. We'll see. But this is just really easy to work on, so glad to have this started. And that is all for my 12 Starts of Christmas recap. Wow. That was a lot. Okay. So the last thing I thought I would share with you is the handful of projects, very few, there's like 3 or 4 that I have legit goals on, like to finish or to finish like parts of it. You'll see. Okay, so these are my 2025 definite plans. First, because it's on top, I am doing a stitch along on this it's called the Easter Goose by Sub Rosa Designs, and this is what it looks like. So I'm stitching on this with my friend Megan, who is the wide-eyed stitching child, I believe, and she'll be linked below. And we were both born in 1984, and so we both turned 40 last year, and we wanted to commemorate our birthdays, our 40th birthdays together. So we decided to stitch this, and we are going to exchange just the egg part, and we're going to stitch our 2 things together. So we're both stitching all of it, but then we're, you know, sending the egg. We're exchanging the egg. We're using different fabrics, different flosses, different everything. It's going to be really fun. So we are using the same fabric dyer, which is Color and Cotton, because we both had that in our collection. So we found 2 that we thought would go well together. And so I have a goal to finish this. I don't have a date for finishing it, but I just know I'm gonna finish it this year. I'm trying to keep up with Megan. She, I think, is ahead of me because she's got the whole goose finished and the flowers next to it. She's got that whole finished, and that's a lot of stitching. It's a lot of white stitching. You can see it's a lot of white stitching, but hers is so pretty. So you have to watch her whip parade because she shows it, and ooh, it's so great. Now this fabric never shows up correctly in the video, but it's a good representation as far as I can tell right now, but it's turning out a little greener than it is in real life. But anyway, you can see I've finished the part that we're exchanging. So I finished the egg, and I used the called for floss for the egg, but I don't stitch back and forth. I stitch just in chunks. Just that's how I do it. So I don't mind it done other ways, like when other people do it other ways. For me personally, that's how I stitch. So I wanted to stitch how I stitch for the exchange. So anyway, this is going to be an exchange, and I've done that so that the pressure was off. Like I started there so that I could finish that, and whenever Megan is ready to exchange, like I'm ready. I can just cut and exchange whether I'm done with the goose or not. So that's why I did that. And then I added 1984 and I gave Megan the 1984 part because that's not on the chart. So I'm not sure if I'm sold on the pink flowers yet. I think I have to stitch more of it and really decide, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, this is going to be a finish in 2025. All right. Next, I'll show you this one because it's here. Let's see. This one. Okay, this was a surprise Christmas gift from my husband. He selected this kit. It's a, I don't know how to say this, Mareka. I think it's Mareka. M-E, I thought it would be written here, but it's not. M-E-R-E-J-K-A is how you spell it. It's a kit. He selected this kit because it reminded him of like a landmark nearby, and when I opened it up for Christmas, we actually looked it up, and it is sort of nearby. We've actually camped very near here. So what I would like to do is I would like to finish this hopefully by the end of this year. But if not by the end of this year, 2025, then for sure by spring of 2026. Because what we would like to do is we would like to take my finished stitching and go find this landmark and take a picture at the landmark with my stitching. So that would be fun. So I have a goal to finish this in a year. It's kind of lofty, I will say. It's a kind of a lofty goal, but I did break down the numbers and the timing and everything. And if I can kind of shoot for 1,000 stitches a week, I should be able to finish in a year, like by the end of December this year. But this is my start. I'm not using the kit fabric. I am using the kit flosses. It comes with Ada, and it didn't seem like there was a huge margin, and it was super stiff. It was just Zweigart Ada, like a light blue Zweigart Ada. And I decided to wash it to get all that starch out and to make it more workable. And it changed colors. It got kind of greeny. And I would have stitched on it anyways, except for the fabric shows through on part of the chart. So I looked at what I have in my collection, and I actually had this. It's a 32 count Ariel linen by Picture This Plus. It's one of my favorite blues, and which is why I had a lot of it. And I think it's gonna work perfectly for the parts that show through on the design. Plus I was able to give myself a better margin of fabric, more comfortable margin. And so yeah, anyway, I started on the bottom left corner, and Marika kits only come as kits. You can't kit them up yourself, and they are paper patterns. And so I am actually using GoodNotes. I'm using GoodNotes. I take a picture of it, and I put it in GoodNotes, and then I highlight the symbol that I want to follow, and then I can use my pencil, my Apple Pencil, to scratch out where I have stitched, and then I can actually erase just the highlight, so that when I go back to the chart, like, my eye isn't drawn to a previously highlighted section. Like, I can just focus on the new highlighted section. So it's a little bit more time than using Pattern Keeper, because Pattern Keeper searches for you and highlights for you, but the workability of GoodNotes is really comparable to Pattern Keeper on charts that don't work in Pattern Keeper. And actually I saw on their Instagram that they are developing their own app for their own patterns, and they hope to have their kit patterns available soon. But I had a hard time installing it, so I'm not sure if that's going to be an option for me. Anyway, this is a decent start. It's more stitching than it looks, but it's not enough. I'm not on track already. I'm already off track, but that's okay. I'm working on finding like a good stitching spot for myself. Like this I want to keep on a frame, but I don't have a good spot to stitch with a frame right now. So I'm working on solving that problem, and when I do, I think it'll be a lot easier to stitch on this like every day. And this is another needle miter that I got from that seller I was telling you about on Etsy. They had a lot of these like really pretty buildings, and this one is their ice cream parlor. Yeah, ice cream parlor. I can't speak. Ice cream parlor. It's a really good size, and the magnet is good, and I really like it. So okay, this one, oh, there's more. Okay, there's more than I thought, but it's all right. Here's one thing that I definitely need to stitch and finish before school ends, which is, this is what I selected for Otto's teacher gift. I haven't totally decided what I want to do. His teacher this year had a whole unit on Wind in the Willows. And so when I saw this pattern, I thought she might like it. Even though it's not Wind in the Willows exactly, it's very similar in concept where these animals are dressed up as children going to school. I don't think I'll have time to do the schoolhouse. So I think what I'm gonna do is just maybe this bunny with the stack of books, and I might do this, like I might just do this and personalize, instead of doing the alphabet and this math equation, I might personalize it with her information, or I don't know, something. I mean, I'm gonna figure something out, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm leaning towards that. Originally, I was maybe thinking I would do just the hedgehog, or maybe the hedgehog and the bunny with the books, or something of that nature, but if I can't figure it out, I'm just gonna do this little pillow. Like, if I can't figure out a better plan for myself, then that's what I'm gonna do. So I don't have anything else pulled for that. I just know I have to start and finish it in the next few months. All right, this goal is for Ragnarok, Long Dog Sampler's Ragnarok. I started this for Leap Day. I started it on Leap Day 2024, and I want it finished by next Leap Day. This is something that Jenny does, Jenny Long Dog Stitcher. So, so it'll be fun to keep up with her, you know, still with this. It's kind of like a stitch along with her, but also with a lot of other people, because a lot of other people have Leap Day starts. Anyways, this is for 16 pages, so 16 pages, and I'm just crossing them off as I finish them. Right now I am working on this one here. So I started here in the bottom right corner, and I did 1, 2, and I'm going up here, and I'm either gonna stitch this one or this one next. So I'm stitching this in hand, and I'm also stitching the negative. And I bought it as a PDF, and I put it into Pattern Keeper just so I could get the stitch count. And the stitch count in Pattern Keeper is 64,755. But since I'm doing the negative, I did the math, and the negative should be 46,794. So I'm actually saving almost 20,000 stitches by just doing the negative. Let me show you what I have so far. I'm a little behind. I wanted to stitch 4 pages per year, but really I have until the end of February to finish my 4 pages. So yeah, that's been my focus for the last couple days. I did finish 1 whole skein of DMC fabric. Nope, that's the back. I did finish 1 whole skein. I'm just using DMC for the dark. And then I had to find a floss that matches this fabric. And since it's like variegated, I found a variegated floss just from my collection that matches the fabric almost exactly, so that I can do the back stitching. So here is where I am on my goal. And in 2025, I will finish the 4 pages from 2024. And by the end of 2025, I want to add another 4 pages. So then this should be half done by the end of 2025. So that's where I am. The reason why I'm stitching the negative is because I wanted all of these prominent characters to have this splotchy fabric show through. I wanted it to look kind of like leather, like almost like an image on leather that's kind of burnt in, and like these people, the horse, the like I wanted all of these characters, all of these animals to have color, not be a silhouette. So that's why I'm stitching the negative. It's because I wanted it that way. And the boat will be mostly the fabric coming through. So also it's another way to keep my brain interested. Like there's a lot of fill-in, and there is still fill-in with stitching the negative, but since I'm doing it differently, like my brain has to think differently, and so it's working out really well for me. So I like it a lot. It's a 36 count. What is this called? Jack-o'-lantern. 36 count Jack-o'-lantern by X2 Designs. I was gonna show you, sorry, I'm all over the place. It's been a long video already. I wanted to show you where I've done backstitching. So there's a little bit there. You can see here, there's backstitching. So anyway, yeah, I think this fabric is gonna give me the look that I have in my brain. So there's that. And then the last goal that I have for 2025 is another finish. I want to finish Portuguese Bird Sampler by Barbara Anna Designs. This is what the model looks like. I am about 2/3 done with this. Okay, let's keep going. I brought this big board. All right. Okay. It's such a big, it's so big. It's such a big design. It's very fun. But I'm about 2/3 done. So I've got everything in the section where the 2 horses are and the 2 people. I've got everything from there and up totally finished, and I'm working on the lower part. So where did that go? So it's like, I want to say 2/3, but it might actually be a little less than that, maybe 3/5. Might be 3/5 done, because I'm not done with the border either. And the border, I'm saving the border until last because I'm going to put in all of those baubles. They look like string lights to me, so I'm gonna be satin stitching those. And I want to put this in a scroll frame to do the satin stitching, keep it all nice and even. But this is going to be finished by this year. Yeah, this is my other travel project. If I can just sit and stitch somewhere, then I'll bring this. Usually I'm stitching it in hand, which I don't know if that was a great idea because I think it got really dirty. And this is a Lakeside linen. This is a 36 count lavender mist, I think, Lakeside linens. And I kind of want to wash this, but I'm a little nervous. Okay, I'm really nervous to do that. I don't have a scrap piece. I don't have a scrap piece to use, like to test if it's gonna bleed or fade or change colors or anything. All of the flosses are color and cotton, so I feel pretty confident that those should be color fast, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, those are my 2025 goals. Those are the goals that I have for sure. Like, for sure, I need to finish those goals. I have some other like peripheral goals that I have in mind that I would like to do, but I don't know if I will. and who knows what else is going to come up and tempt me. You know how it goes. So, all right. This was a long video, longer than I thought it would be. But I'm glad that you joined me today. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do hope to be filming like more regularly this year, especially now that I have a space and like we're working on getting it set up to where it's just gonna be easy for me to sit down and film a video. So I'm hoping that, yeah, that it'll be more, you know. So yeah, that's it. So anyway, thanks so much for visiting with me today. And if you made it to the end, let me know what you're working on today. Let me know what you're stitching on while you're watching, or if you're not stitching, what else, you know, what other thing are you doing? I like to know those kind of things. And I hope wherever you are, you're safe and you're doing okay, and you're doing the best that you can do, and that, you know, you might even be doing well. I do hope everyone is doing well. So, yeah, until next time, take care.